Grand rising, grand rising, grand rising, grand rising. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. You got to have another day. And since you got another day, let's live. Because the only way to live is to learn. Because the day you don't learn something new is the day you didn't live. So, but learning is actually expanding. It's taking something you already know and then you expand upon it. Therefore, you learn something new. Otherwise, you're just looking at the same shit. So let's look at things a little differently. That's the only way to expand. You have to look at it from a different angle. See, if you use a different angle, that is an angel. See, an angel of light. It's a new shade of light. It expands on the color spectrum because right now you only know three. Your basic that they gave you: red, blue, and green, or red, blue, and yellow. Those they said are the prime colors. But you see how it's three? Because that's supreme mathematics. Because we live in a nine-dimensional realm. But this nine-dimensional realm is actually exists within a 12D space. But this 12D space works like this. The first three exist on a whole nother level. They exist outside of what this was. Right? Because those three made the initial form that the rest of everything else began to spiral within. So the 9, this is why 9 is completion. Because once you get to 9, that's completion. That's why it starts with, it's a whoop, and then when it comes down, it's complete. But that's a new beginning. That brings you back to 1. So the only way to add to it, you must add a microcosmo. That's where they add the 0. So it's now 1, 0. It is a beginning that exists on the duality of another. A whole other. So, right? So the first three exist. This 90 is a chasm. Because this is the fall. You descended. Because 9 is completion. But once you get to 9 and you break, you descend back down. Back to 1. And it starts again. See, it's a divine cycle. Once you finally complete, because otherwise you get stuck in the repetitive loop. This is infinity. This is 8. The infinity of 8. See? This is... right? Once you go to 9, the only way out, but that line brings you back to... it's another beginning. So once you complete yourself, you enter... That's the true gateway. That's the gateway. Because 5 is the portal. You want to know why? This is where the supreme mathematics comes in. This is why 9 is the only highest number. 9 is the only number added in that when added into itself, it adds back down into itself. Meaning 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 plus 1, that figure is 2. Actually, it's 3. Because 1 plus 1, which is 2, gives you 3. Now at 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 can go back down into 3. 6 can go back down into 3. That's why it's the first supreme number. It is the first supreme you have to have 3. It's the first one, first level. Then you got 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. 4 plus 4 is 8. 5 plus 5 is 10. 10. 1 plus 0 is back to 1. That's the first. So the first lower dimensions 1 through 5, is the first half. Once you hit 5, you then enter into the other dimensions, but you start back over. So you start back to 1. But now you're back at a 1, but now you're finna go to 6. Because that was 5D. 5 plus 5 is 1. So what's 6 plus 6? It's 12. 1 plus 2 equals 3. Back to the next supreme number. So now we got 2. So now we got the transformation number. The number that can be right? We got the next one. 3 and 6. 6 gets you back to 3 and 3. Right. That's a cycle. Now, here's why 9 is complete. Now, we got 7. 7 plus 7 is 14. 1 plus 4, 5. The second portal, God. That's where God lives on 7. That's why 7 is the lucky number. You have the first and the second gates out. 7. So that's why they call that one the God realm. God lives in 7. Now, 8. 8 plus 8, 16. 16. 1 plus 7, 7. God. It's the higher one. It's the 9 plus 9, 18. 1 plus 8, 9. 9 times 2, 27. 2 plus 7, 9. 9 times 9, 81. 8 plus 1, 9. It's the only one. It's 3 times 3, it's just 9. 3 times 4, it's 12. Back down to 3. See, these are supreme numbers. They go back to themselves, or they cycle into. They can get to the smallest denominator. But 9 is the only one that can smallest denominate into itself. So once you hit 9, it is a full complete. It is a inversion back out, but it's a new beginning. So the only way to not get trapped back into the cycle of 1 down to 9, or 9 down to 1 and then back to 9, 9 to 1, back to 9. If you don't want to get stuck in the cycle, the only way is to collapse. There must be an extension, a separation. That's where you get the next 0. That's why after you get from there, you can just add zeros. You can just add zeros, right? You can just add, see, you got 10 of these, right? So it's 10, 20, now it's 10, 20, 30, 30, then 40. You're just adding a 0 to all the 100. Now you got 2. Within that's the eyes of, because the 100th soul, it's the reason why we like to stay at 100. We love 100, right? It gives you 2, and then right in the middle, but wait, that's God. That's Jesus. Jesus dies on the cross because your eyes lie. So you got these. That's 8 infinity. The infinity. You can see the goggles, the sight. But you got stuck in your own mind. So you had the sight, but you got stuck in your own mind. You were only seeing what was outside of you. So the only way to see the truth was to remove the goggles, add another, and then look back within. 100. Hey, don't blame me. I'm just teaching. But I hope you was paying attention. Right? So, in the next one, part 3, because I don't know where this series is at. We just doing whatever, but I'm coming at you early. So, if you was paying attention, you got the message. If not, well, you couldn't afford it. But anyways, as we like to say, our praises to the ancestors, high and low, ones forgotten and known and unknown. Ashe? Ashe.